In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, one God. Amen. My beloved God, chosen warning from heaven. Ignore this at your own risk. Your final reminder. This is not just another message. This is the call you've been sensing in your spirit for days, maybe even weeks. A divine signal that has been echoing louder and louder, trying to break through the noise of your distractions. This message is not about fear. It is about clarity. It is about awakening. You are not watching this by accident. The heavens have orchestrated this moment as your final reminder, before the shift, before the storm, before the reveal. So listen closely. Something massive is on the horizon. Spiritual shaking, a divine turning point. And those who ignore this warning will miss the greatest reversal of their life. The chosen ones have been under intense observation, not by people, but by heaven itself. You are not just living. You are being watched, evaluated, measured, not for punishment, but for preparation, not for failure, but for fulfillment. You've been called out of the masses because your soul is tuned into a higher frequency. You feel things others don't. You see through facades. You hear what others call silence. You notice divine patterns that most miss. Watch this message until the end. It's not entertainment. It's instruction. It's a release. And write your warmest wishes. And the number 777 inches, the comments. This is a moment of universal ignition. When you declare your wish boldly, you are stepping into alignment with heaven's vibration. Something supernatural begins to shift when the chosen speak. Especially now, chosen one, like this video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel. And let's start. This is not a time to delay. There are spiritual instructions that must be obeyed with precision. Heaven has already whispered it into your spirit. You may have brushed it off. You may have questioned it. But deep down, you know what I'm saying is true. The dream you had, the urge to move, the pull to detach, the moment of silence that didn't feel empty but purposeful. That was your warning. That was your call. And you must not ignore it any longer. There is a final preparation happening now in the spirit realm. A countdown you don't see, but it is active. You are on the edge of a spiritual crossing. And those who hesitate, those who choose comfort over calling, will forfeit what was reserved only for the ready. Let me say this with love, but with power. Heaven doesn't wait on hesitation. Your destiny does not operate on your convenience. When the divine time comes, it comes. You either move or you miss. Chosen one, your intuition is not lying. The urgency is real. This moment has a sound. It has a pressure. It has a spiritual demand. Something is about to be unveiled that will shake everything around you, either for your favor or your fall. And the difference will be your obedience, your alertness, your spiritual posture. Many people around you are sleeping spiritually. They are numb to the signs. They live from one distraction to the next, unaware that divine things are being moved into place, but not you. You feel the tension. You hear the whispers of another reality trying to break through. And this is your confirmation. Heaven is speaking, and the message is clear. Prepare, act, move, surrender. There are conversations you need to end, places you must leave, assignments you have to begin. These are not suggestions. They are requirements for the shift. And the longer you delay, the more pressure will build. God is not punishing you. He's positioning you. But his positioning requires your participation. You must meet him at the gate. You must walk through the door, even if it scares you. You must say yes before you see how. And let's be honest, some of the resistance you're feeling isn't external, it's internal. It's fear, it's old patterns. It's the voice in your head that says, but what if I fail? Let me encourage you with all the divine fire in my spirit. What if you fly? What if everything changes? What if this morning is the last one before your life becomes unrecognizable in the best way? You have no idea how close you are to divine fulfillment. This is not just about money. It's not just about breakthrough. It's about destiny, legacy, impact, soul level awakening. And the enemy wants you distracted because he knows that a focused chosen one is unstoppable. He knows that one act of obedience from you could shift generations, and that's why the attacks have been intense. That's why the confusion tried to flood you. That's why certain people have tried to re-enter your life to pull you back. It's all distraction, strategic distraction sent to delay divine alignment. But hear me, you're stronger than that now. You're wiser than you were. You've seen too much to go back. And then even if no one claps for you, even if you walk alone, even if it doesn't make sense to anyone else, walk forward. You are not walking into uncertainty. You are walking into divine fulfillment. The signs are all around you. Confirmations keep coming. And the only thing left is your decision. Heaven is sending this as your final reminder, not final out of punishment, but because timing matters. Destiny has a divine clock, and your time has come. That's why everything feels so intense. That's why you can't shake the feeling. That's why your spirit is restless, because you were never called to stay where you are. The shift is calling you. The higher place is calling you. The greater version of you is waiting. Chosen one, you have something that cannot be replicated, divine covering. There is a supernatural shield around you, but it functions best when you're in divine position. Stay too long in the wrong place, and the covering will feel distant. Move too late, and the grace assigned for the old season begins to lift. But move now, and you enter into overflow, into purpose, into power, into protection. The heavens are speaking. Can you hear it? Can you feel it? The urgency is not just a feeling. It is a frequency. It is a vibration calling out to your soul saying, this is the time, this is the place, this is your exit, this is your elevation. Don't ignore the patterns. Don't overlook the signs. They've been building recurring numbers, repeating messages, timely dreams, sudden connections, closed doors. All of it has been heaven trying to guide you, protect you, prepare you. And if you act now, you will not just be spared, you will be rewarded. You were never meant to be average. That's why average doesn't fit. That's why mediocrity feels painful to you. That's why you keep outgrowing spaces, because your anointing is increasing, because your calling is expanding, because your roots are being pulled from shallow soil to be replanted in richer ground. But if you don't move, you'll feel stuck, stagnant, heavy, unfulfilled. That is not punishment, it's misalignment. It's your soul crying out for more. And here's your confirmation, more is available. The divine shift has been activated. The gates are opening, and the ones who move now will see miracle after miracle. Let people laugh, let them mock, let them misunderstand. When the flood of favor hits your life, even your doubters will be silenced. But that flood only comes for the ones who are in position. So don't delay, don't argue with destiny, don't beg for old connections to stay. Obey the pull, follow the fire, trust the push. This is a final call, the kind that shifts timelines, the kind that removes dead weight, the kind that ignites heavenly rewards. This is your moment, chosen one. There's a moment in every chosen one's journey where silence becomes thunder, where what used to be whispers from heaven turns into a divine roar in your spirit. That's where you are now. You're not confused, you're being called. The pressure you feel is proof of the power that's about to be revealed through you. And this pressure isn't here to break you, it's here to unlock you. Your life has been building up to this season. Everything you've lost, everything you've endured, every night you stayed awake wondering when it would finally make sense, it's all leading to now. And this message is your confirmation. This is not just another chapter. This is the divine climax before your explosion of transformation. But heaven will not force you. You must choose to respond. Many chosen ones don't realize that spiritual warnings are not always about danger. They're about direction. Heaven doesn't send signs to scare you. It sends signs to prepare you. And right now, the frequency of divine messages has increased because the window of opportunity is narrowing. You're standing at a spiritual edge, and your next move will determine which side of the promise you fall on. Some people around you will act like nothing is happening. They'll dismiss what you feel in your spirit. But don't let their silence convince you to ignore what your soul knows. You've always been different. You've always carried something rare. That's why the enemy fought you so early, so hard, and so long. That's why the opposition in your life hasn't been normal. The enemy saw who you were becoming before you even knew. And now that your gifts are awakening, now that your voice is getting stronger, now that your discernment is sharp, he's sending out final distractions to keep you from walking into your divine completion. Don't fall for it. This is not the time to chase distractions. This is the time to chase destiny. And heaven is watching who listens, who moves, who obeys. It's not just about your bloodline. It's about your bloodline. Your obedience in this moment will bless those who come after you. That's why the enemy wants to cloud your judgment. That's why your past keeps knocking. That's why people who once abandoned you suddenly want to reconnect. It's a distraction disguised as comfort. But you were never called to comfort. You were called to carry the fire. You were called to break the cycle. You were chosen to reset the lineage. And that responsibility cannot be delayed. It cannot be diluted. It cannot be forgotten. The price you paid was too high to waste this moment. You've cried too many nights to stay still. You've come too far to go back, now chosen one. This is not the season to explain your calling to everyone. Stop trying to get validation from those who aren't assigned to your mission. They won't understand. They're not supposed to. The frequency of your spirit has outgrown them. What you're hearing now isn't for the crowd. It's for the few, the set apart, the anointed, the awakened, the ready. You've been set apart for such a time as this. And yes, that's lonely. Yes, it's heavy, but it's also holy. And when you finally surrender to the call completely, everything shifts. Provision comes. Protection multiplies, peace enters, purpose ignites. That's why the warning from heaven is so loud right now, because your time is now. This is not about religion. This is about recognition, recognizing your placement in a divine storyline that's been unfolding before you were even born. Recognizing that you're not late, you're aligned. Recognizing that the war around you has always been about the light within you. And that light is intensifying, it's becoming unavoidable. The shift in your soul is creating movement in the heavens. And what once resisted you will now respond to you if you stay obedient. This is a final instruction for a chosen transition. So ask yourself, what is heaven asking me to do right now that I've been avoiding? Is it letting go of something or someone? Is it stepping into something unfamiliar? Is it trusting where there is no evidence yet? Whatever it is, this is your confirmation to move forward, to act boldly, to obey immediately, because the door you've been praying for will only unlock through obedience, not opinion. Heaven doesn't need your understanding, it needs your yes. This is a different kind of season. You're not being pushed, you're being positioned. Everything that is not in alignment with your purpose is being removed, not to hurt you, but to protect you, to make space for what is truly yours. And if you cling to what's leaving, you'll delay what's coming. You can feel it, can't you? Weight in your chest, the intensity of this moment, the urgency in your dreams. That's heaven knocking. And this warning isn't repeated again. This is the final one. Not out of cruelty, but because you are ready. You've matured, you've been tried, you've been tested, and now you must be trusted. Heaven is looking for those who can be trusted with the weight of a new season, with the responsibility of the new reward, with the stewardship of kingdom provision. And trust is proven by response, not by words, but by motion, not by hope, but by action. So move, even if your voice shakes, even if your hands tremble, even if your knees are weak, take the step, obey the pull. This is a divine moment, and it will not come again the same way. This message is not a theory, it is an announcement. Something is being released in the spiritual realm, and those who are tuned in will feel the shift. You will wake up different. You will walk different. You will see different, because your season has changed and your steps are now ordained by fire. The heavens have spoken, and you, chosen one, are the one this moment was created for. Not the strong, not the loud, not the seen, but you. The one who stayed silent while healing, the one who didn't retaliate when betrayed, the one who believed even when broken, the one who held on to hope when everything looked hopeless. You are the evidence of faith. You are the proof of preparation. You are the light that darkness fears. And now you are the vessel that heaven will use as a sign. You will be the sign. You won't just talk about miracles, you'll be one. You won't just testify about favor, you'll carry it. You won't just hope for breakthroughs, you'll walk in them daily. But first, the warning must be honored. You must surrender, you must move. You must choose to rise even when it's hard, because this is your final reminder. You were not born to be casual. You were not designed to blend in. And though life has tried to crush that inner knowing, it cannot erase the divine seal stamped on your existence. You've always been marked, even in seasons where it felt like nothing made sense. The truth is, everything was making room for this very moment. This final reminder from heaven is not just a warning of what's coming. It's a declaration that your soul is needed in position now. Chosen one. The environment around you is about to change. And it's not because you begged for it, it's because heaven already scheduled it. But change cannot exist where comfort is still king. You must dethrone every lie that said you're not ready. Every belief that whispered you're too late. Every wound that tried to make you passive. Your destiny doesn't wait for permission from your pain. It only needs your yes. And here's the truth. Many chosen ones have been mistaking this current pressure for punishment, when really it's a divine push. Heaven is applying force in the spirit because your soul has been in delay. And God won't let his called ones sit too long in stagnant places. You've been stretching lately, haven't you? Losing interest in old things. Feeling disconnected from circles that once comforted you. Feeling a discomfort even in routines that once brought you joy. That's not depression, chosen one. That's your spirit getting a new instruction. That's your inner compass being realigned. And this urgency is divine. It's intentional because a heavenly countdown has already begun. Something is aligning behind the scenes that you cannot afford to miss. This is not the time for overthinking. This is the time for over-resting. Many others will try to play it safe. They'll resist the calling. They'll rationalize the delay. But you will rise. You'll walk through doors even if you don't know what's on the other side. Why? Because your soul already knows. Your heart is already awake. Your destiny is too loud to ignore now. Do you think it's a coincidence that you keep seeing confirmation after confirmation? Do you really believe it's just random that your spirit has felt like it's standing on the edge of something you can't explain? It's not random. It's prophetic. It's spiritual intelligence manifesting through your awareness. You see, your spirit hears things before your ears do. And when you begin to feel the pull for something more, it's not just personal. It's a divine download. That's why you're restless. That's why you can't settle. That's why you're not satisfied with what others call good enough. You were born to live on another level, and heaven is now initiating the upgrade. But here's the test. Will you move when God says move, or will you wait until it's comfortable? This is your final warning, because the window is closing. Not in a way that brings fear, but in a way that demands faith. Every step you take in obedience in this season will create ripple effects beyond what your mind can comprehend. Every act of courage will echo through spiritual realms. Every yes you speak will unlock doors that were previously invisible. But you must release everything that is pulling you backward. Don't try to carry dead weight into your next miracle. Don't try to negotiate with God over what needs to go. You already know what must be left behind. The habits, the excuses, the idols, the delays, the waiting for perfect conditions, that's over now. The only thing that will carry you forward is obedience and urgency. This moment is spiritual surgery. God is cutting ties for you because He heard the cries you whispered that night. You asked for change. You asked for elevation. You asked for more. And now heaven is answering with a warning that must be obeyed. The next step of your life is too massive for hesitation. There's no space for confusion. Clarity has arrived. You just have to respond. Chosen one, I need you to understand this. Your future is already built. What's waiting for you is not being invented. It's being revealed. And every spiritual instruction you follow now is taking you one step closer to what's already yours. But if you delay too long, others will walk into what was meant for you. Yes, destiny can be missed. God's love never fails. His grace is eternal, but divine assignments are time sensitive. There are seasons where the door is open, and if you keep waiting, the assignment will shift. Not because God changed His mind, but because He needed the mission to go on. Don't lose what's already yours. Don't lose your divine space by trying to fit in earthly places. This warning is heaven's way of saying you are too important, too necessary, too anointed to stay in places that keep you asleep. Wake up. You've seen enough signs. Now it's time to act. This is a supernatural separation season. Things are going to fall away. People are going to walk out. Opportunities that once were yours will now feel foreign. And it's not rejection, it's redirection. God is emptying the stage so the right spotlight can hit you. But you must stop trying to reattach what heaven is detaching. The final reminder is also the final test. Will you follow the light, or will you run back to shadows? Will you say yes in the fog or wait for a view? Will you choose obedience when it costs you comfort? Everything in your future depends on how you answer that now. You've already been told, you've already seen the signs, and you're not confused, you're cautious. But in this season, caution cannot lead. Faith must. The kind of faith that says, even if I don't see it yet, I move because God said so. Your entire spiritual realm is watching. Angels are aligning. Portals are opening. Keys are being released. And the ones who move now will not only receive divine favor, they'll become divine evidence. So many will miss it because they're waiting for man to confirm what heaven has already spoken. Not you. You're different. You know when the Spirit moves. You know when something holy is pulling you. You know when the wind changes in the Spirit. And that's exactly what's happening now. There's a shift in the wind. Chosen one, something invisible is becoming undeniable. And if you stay in tune, if you move with the frequency of heaven, your name will be marked for miracles. This is your personal trumpet sound from above. Your life will not look the same. Your connections will not remain the same. Your priorities will rearrange. Your vision will clarify. Your path will glow. But first, the urgency must be met with obedience. No more playing small. No more hoping someone saves you. You've already been saved. Now it's time to rise. It's not just a message. It's a final chance to wake up before everything shifts. Chosen one, by the time many finally see it, it will be too late to step into it. But not you. You are here awake, ready to receive divine intelligence straight from the heavens. You're no longer asking if this is for you. Deep inside, you already know. You feel the pull because your soul is responding to the frequency of your next elevation. But what many don't realize is that elevation is always preceded by evacuation. Something must be exited before the next can enter. Heaven is speaking louder now. Not to overwhelm you, but to prepare you, because what's coming is not light. It's weighty. Glory is heavy. And only those who are prepared will be able to carry it without collapsing. This is a spiritual drill. It's why things feel so intense. This emergency is divine. God isn't trying to scare you. He's trying to spare you. There's a crash coming in the spirit, and those who are unprepared will be swept in confusion. But those who heeded the call, those who listen to the warning, will rise with supernatural strategy, insight, and elevation. And here's the part many miss. God doesn't give warnings just so you avoid loss. He gives warnings so you enter gain. The warning isn't just to help you survive, it's to help you rise. This message is heaven's invitation to skip the chaos and inherit the crown. Don't miss this. Right now, everything in your world may feel unstable. People are acting strange, your emotions feel unsteady, your plans are being rearranged without notice. But what looks like loss is alignment. What looks like rejection is redirection. What feels like collapse is actually construction. God is rebuilding you inside out for where He's sending you next. And no, it doesn't feel like a blessing right now, but this is how heaven builds legends. Through discomfort, through obedience, through urgent reminders that wake the spirit from slumber. You, chosen one, are in training for a level of influence you've never known. That's why the enemy has been hitting you so hard. That's why the temptation to give up has been louder than usual. He knows your obedience today triggers a release that will echo for generations. You are not just a name, you are a lineage. You are carrying a divine line of destiny that stretches far beyond what you can currently see. Every time you obey, you release blessings not just for you, but for those connected to you. That's why this warning must be taken seriously. This moment is a generational moment. Some of your ancestors cried out for this shift. And now heaven has chosen you to be the answer. You're the one. The curse breaker, the shift breaker, the lineage restorer. And the enemy hoped you'd never wake up to it. He hoped you'd drown in distractions. He hoped you'd settle into survival mode. But this message is your awakening. The divine clock is ticking, and everything is about to change either with you or without you. That's how sacred this moment is. And what must you do? You must obey, even when it makes no sense, even when it costs you comfort, even when it feels like loss. Because what you lose in obedience, heaven multiplies in reward. Some doors are closing, and you must not force them open again. They served a purpose, but now they are poison to your purpose. Let them close. Some people are exiting your life, not because they're bad, but because they no longer belong in your divine storyline. Let them go. Some dreams are being rewritten. Some plans are being canceled. But in all of this, heaven is orchestrating something far greater. You must make room for what's coming. And to do that, you have to release what's no longer yours. Chosen one, this is not a moment for passive faith. This is active, bold faith in motion type of living. You can no longer say, I believe, and stay in the same place. You must walk. You must let go. You must take the step, even if the next one hasn't been revealed. Because here's the truth. The next instruction won't be revealed until you act on the current one. Heaven is waiting on your move. You're not waiting on God. God is waiting on you. And when you finally respond, everything opens. Heaven will not fund where He didn't send. So if your blessing feels blocked, it may be because you're still standing in an expired place. The grace for that season is gone. You've outgrown that dimension. And the longer you stay, the heavier everything feels. But the moment you shift into alignment, the heavens begin to move. Resources flow, clarity returns, peace returns, strength multiplies. This is what the final reminder is trying to show you. It's not too late, but you must act now. You are on the edge of divine eruption. A spiritual detonation is coming, and those who are in position will rise faster than they can explain. Doors will open without explanation. Emails will come out of nowhere. Provision will hit accounts without warning. New relationships will form instantly. Why? Because destiny doesn't require delay. It only required your yes. But if you hesitate, you'll be overwhelmed by what was meant to be your reward. So do not hesitate. Your mind will question it. Your emotions will argue. But your spirit already knows what to do. Follow that inner knowing. That's the voice of heaven speaking. You've heard it before, but now it's louder. And this is the last time it will speak this clearly before silence falls again. This is not the time to look for comfort. This is the time to look for confirmation. And you've just received it. You are being given one final chance to rearrange everything to align with the new coordinates of your next level. Take the steps, sow the seed, make the call, release the habit, break the tie, start the work. Whatever God has whispered to your soul in this season, it must be honored immediately, because your next level is obedience activated. And this moment is your test. You may never feel ready, but faith doesn't require feelings. It requires movement. And when you move in faith, heaven responds in fire. Chosen one, you are being summoned by name in this hour. This message is the proof. You didn't search for it. It found you because heaven has set a marker on your life, a divine assignment. And this is your green light to run. Run into purpose. Run into divine fulfillment. Run into the very thing you were born for. No more delay. No more doubt. No more distraction. The trumpet has sounded. The heavens have released this message. This is the final reminder. You've heard the warning. You felt the urgency. Now, chosen one, let's talk about what happens after obedience. Because make no mistake, obedience is not just a spiritual act. It is a supernatural trigger. When a chosen one responds to heaven's call, It sets off a chain reaction in the spirit realm that begins to touch everything. This is the part many forget. When you finally say yes, everything that was bound starts moving. Things begin to unlock. Energy starts to shift. Portals open. Favor starts flowing. It may not always happen in the way you expect, but it will happen. Because heaven cannot release what your disobedience is blocking. You were never meant to beg for breakthroughs. You were meant to birth them, but birth requires pressure. It requires release. It requires labor. And that's where you are right now, in spiritual labor. The old is contracting. The new is pushing through. But if you stop now, you'll miss the miracle. That's why the warning had to come to get you to push, not panic. To get you to rise, not retreat. You are not just on the edge of change. You are the change. The system that once rejected you is about to need you. The door that once ignored you is about to swing wide open. And you'll walk in not because you forced it, but because heaven opened it for you. This is the divine compensation season. The rewards are real, but they are reserved for the responsive. Chosen one, your faith has been tested in silence. Your growth has taken place in hidden rooms. Your tears have been seen only by God. And now, because you dared to stay faithful through what you didn't understand, heaven has declared reward time. Yes, reward. Not a little, not temporary, but overflowing, permanent, exceedingly more than what you lost. And let's be honest, there's been loss. You've had to let go of things that felt like lifelines. People who felt like forever turned out to be lessons. Opportunities you thought were open doors turned out to be locked.